Nature tsunami warnings include ground shaking, a loud ocean roar, and water receding unusually far, revealing the seafloor. If you noticed any of these warning signs, don't ignore them. You need to act immediately. Hello and welcome to The Way to Survive. Watch this video till the end to know how to survive a tsunami, according to scientists. Before we move on, don't forget to drop a like. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon to turn on post notifications. So without further ado, let's get started. Know it's coming. Tsunamis are usually caused when earthquakes displace massive amounts of water near the seafloor. The water is pushed out in the form of a succession of waves that travel in all directions. Tsunamis can be triggered by underwater volcanic eruptions, landslides, and even meteorites. These waves can be hundreds of miles long, but only a few feet in height travel at the speed of a jet plane, up to 500 miles per hour out at sea. When the waves get close to the shore, they slow down to 20 to 30 miles per hour and develop in size. The tsunami could look like a wall of water or more likely a flood that is fast rising. However, there may be specific warning indications before this occurs. You must first survive the earthquake, assuming one occurred. Even if a tsunami warning has not been issued, make sure to move to higher ground after a significant coastal quake. A local tsunami could be just minutes away if one has been triggered. If there is a large earthquake and you live near the coast, you cannot wait for the authorities, says one resident. A tsunami can also force the ocean to recede before it hits, leaving sand and reefs naked, as DENIS GARCIA observed in 1960. There may also be a roaring noise similar to that of a railway or a jet plane. You must be able to detect the warning signs that nature provides, says the author. Meanwhile, tsunami warning centers in Hawaii and Alaska will be issued, such as the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and the National Tsunami Warning Center. So keep an eye out for the official warnings, sirens, and directions from the authorities in your area. Get to higher ground. Unless you are on a boat in the middle of the ocean, stay still. Otherwise, your best line of action will be determined by the amount of time you have before the tsunami strikes. Assuming you're on land, your goal is to get away from the coast. Attempt to get to 100 feet above sea level or 2 miles from the ocean. When you're lucky, the tsunami will have been triggered by a distant earthquake and will take several hours to reach. If you have one, bring it along with you, as well as your pets. If you're unsure about where to go, look for evacuation signs. However, please pay attention to any instructions given by emergency officials, since they might advise you to take a different escape route than you had planned. Keep going if you're not sure how far to evacuate. Don't stop if you're at 20 feet above sea level. Just keep heading uphill, advises Ian Miller, a coastal hazard specialist with Washington Sea Grant in Port Angeles. Stay away from rivers and streams as you make your way to higher land. A tsunami can travel quickly up the river, and many people have been caught off guard. Also make plans to flee on foot. If everyone gets in their cars simultaneously, there will be a gridlock and no one will be able to get out. Take a look at the power lines if there has previously been an earthquake in the region. Avoid buildings and bridges that may be damaged by heavy debris if an aftershock occurs. Survival pods designed to protect you from a tsunami are also available but expensive and have yet to be proven effective. Take shelter. It's possible that you won't have enough time to go higher ground before the tsunami hits. Cross-country racer Ben Brownlee was once invited by the Seattle Times to run the evacuation route from Long Beach Elementary in Washington State, a particularly susceptible peninsula in an earthquake-prone zone. Brownlee can run a mile in under 6 minutes and cross the hazard zone in less than 15 minutes. He could have survived an incoming tsunami with no injuries or earthquake rubble to contend with, but only just. You should presume you're too close to outrun the wave if you can see it. When face to face with a tsunami, many people must make do with whatever refuge they have. Vertical tsunami shelters will be helpful in this situation. These buildings should be strong enough to survive the onslaught of water, tall enough to clear the danger zone, and situated in areas where the most significant number of people can access them. The nation's first tsunami evacuation structure was presented last year at OCOSTA Elementary School in Westport, Washington. The gymnasium at the school is designed to survive an earthquake and tsunami while also providing shelter for over 1,000 people on its roof. Long Beach intends to construct a tsunami shelter in the shape of an armored hill. Other communities are also planning tsunami shelters. In Newport, Oregon, a forested hill is transformed into a 2,300-person refuge. If you're fleeing a tsunami and there aren't any safe havens accessible, look for a sturdy, reinforced concrete structure. Head for the roof by climbing as high as you can, at least to the 3rd floor. If there is a massive hotel with numerous stories, that would be your best chance. Rather than any hotel holiday home, it would have to be a structure with a solid concrete base, and even then, there is no guarantee. After all, most structures were not designed to resist the kind of forces that a tsunami will unleash. If there are no buildings nearby, climb a tree. Hang on! Grab a piece of floating debris if everything else fails. Climbing onto roofs and using them as makeshift life rafts has helped some people to survive. If you get caught in the waves, you'll be faced with choppy water and rubble. At this point, survival is purely a matter of chance. A person will simply be swept up in it and carried along as debris. There is no way to swim out of a tsunami. The wave will eventually recede, dragging cars, trees, and buildings behind it. Even if you've gotten this far, you're not entirely safe. The coasts are frequently inundated with multiple waves over the course of several hours. People have died because they assumed the first wave would be the end of the disaster. Miller says, "There's always more waves to come. Just like when you flip a pebble into a rain puddle, there's never just one wave. So if you're high up in a tree or in a building and haven't gotten the all clear from emergency personnel, don't come down just yet." In addition, structures that were not swept away by the tsunami may have been weakened. Chang Sang drove over a bridge in his home country of Seychelles, an island nation off the eastern coast of Africa, several hours after the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Chang Sang explains, "I just crossed the bridge in a car and then the same bridge collapsed a few seconds later." Be ready. Tsunamis can lift boulders and rip structures from their foundations, unlike the ones you see at the beach. These monster waves span the entire water column from the seafloor to the surface. It's very powerful. There's a lot of energy because a tsunami isn't just a surface wave. It's also difficult to have a wave slam into the shoreline without endangering people. Within 60 miles of the ocean, more than a third of the world's population lives. In 2010, 39% of the US population lived in counties directly on the coast, and the coast is only expected to get busier. That's why you should be ready in case one of these rare but deadly waves hits a beach near you. If you live near the coast, you must have a plan for your family. If you live or work near the sea, be aware of the tsunami evacuation zone. Aim and practice an evacuation route, and have an emergency kit on hand. Make sure you're aware of your community's disaster plans. Every tsunami-prone area should have a tsunami evacuation map that shows where the danger zones are. When visiting the beach, you may also find yourself in a danger zone. Tourists are particularly vulnerable to being caught off guard. You don't necessarily want to worry about something like that when you're on a vacation. However, if you live in tsunami-prone areas, make a plan for what you'll do if disaster strikes. If you're going on a beach vacation, it would be better if you brought a flashlight, because people were unaware of the danger. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, which killed 230,000 people, was so devastating. Because there was no regional warning system, they were unaware that a tsunami was approaching. On the other hand, the tsunami spurred advances in detection and preparedness, and the countries bordering the Indian Ocean are now better prepared. As a result, communities along the coast should be prepared for the worst-case scenario. This is especially difficult in areas that haven't seen a tsunami in a long time, such as the Pacific Northwest, the last hit by a tsunami in the 1700s. The main unknown, according to Garris and Laney, is where the next tsunami will strike. It's really up to the coastal communities to make sure they're prepared and hopeful it won't happen until everyone is. I hope you liked our video about the way to survive a tsunami. Scientists tell you how. Stay tuned for more interesting videos. Don't forget to drop a like. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon to turn on post notifications.